How's it going? Ryan with RMark Trades here. And today I'm going to review a few trades that I took today. We had FOMC, we had an interest rate decision from the Fed. It was a big day for trading as these events usually imply a lot of volatility and some crazy swings in prices. So there's definitely some money to be made today. Before we jump into the trades though, as always, we'll look at some of the levels that I have mapped out here, starting from the daily chart. As always, mark the high and the low of yesterday's trading day. The high of yesterday also happens to be the most recent swing high as well, so it's particularly a key level to watch. A few of the other levels I marked out here are I got this 447.43 down here as a big resistance, turn support. I marked out one way down low, 444 pretty much, where we had some serious resistance as well. And once we finally did break above it, it was a big gap up. Those are just far off kind of areas I'm looking for. There's nothing really above right now that I'm looking at. So just marking a few levels. The rest of these came from hourly charts. We'll dive into that. So looking at the hourly chart here, like I mentioned earlier, we have the low and the high of yesterday's trading session marked out with those green and red lines. There's a few other areas that I marked on the hourly chart. This 455 area is one that I've been watching for a while. We've been in this kind of channel or this like horizontal pattern bouncing between this 455 and 452 range. So that's the one that I've been watching. It's a very key level. And particularly since yesterday's trading session, we had kind of sold off and we're actually opening below this key level here. Also marked 455.21 because it's never a strict line. That's just to kind of remind me of the zone that I'm looking in from this kind of 455 to 455.2. The reason why I have 455.2, you can see that we had a couple areas of resistance, support in the pre-market, resistance in the pre-market. So this area in general, the kind of this 20-cent range, has been very active. So multiple times we'd tested to try to break above it. Multiple times we'd failed. Twice we did break above it, and once we did break above it, this zone offered support. So I knew it was a key area to watch for. We've had a lot of price action and a lot of swings in price happen in that area. So that was an area I was watching. And that kind of formed the basis of one of the trades that I took today pre-FOMC. We'll look at that now. Just get this adjusted here. Alrighty. So the first trade that I took was puts as we entered this area that I was describing earlier. We fell below it in the pre-market and we were coming up perfectly to retest. That's exactly what I like to see. Kind of pushing in, having some selling off. You can see the longer wicks on these candles here as well as volume kind of dying off as well. So I felt confident. I took 2 puts up here, so 2 option contracts. And we kind of chopped around for a while. The premium moved really weird to where when we were in this area, the price of the premium was as low as it was up here when I got in. So even though the move had come a few, not crazy, but like 30 cents in my favor, I was pretty much at the price that I got in, which was almost the top. I entered once we hit 455 and I entered another once we got up towards this 455.2. So my entries were not really bad, but the premiums moved really odd. And we kind of chopped around for a while. I sold on one of these 2 candles for a very small profit. I think it was like $1 after the fees to buy the options. So that was my first trade of the day. It technically worked. We came up and retested it later in the morning, and it fell. And what I was really targeting was a rejection off this area and a fall down to this 454 area for support. And we got that eventually later in the day. I was at work when this happened, so I sold for a very small profit. The premiums moved really weird on this. We had pretty low volume, pretty abysmal price action. And I knew ahead of the FOMC meeting today and Jerome Powell speaking that there was a good chance that we'd have low volume in the morning. So I wasn't sure if I was going to take a trade. The only reason I took it is because it was pretty much the perfect setup for what I was looking for. We just didn't really have the volume and the price action to carry it out. We chopped sideways for, from 740 to pretty much 820, 825. So good 30, 40 minutes of just horizontal chop where the premiums really weren't doing much. So that's the trade I took. We had FOMC, the interest rate decision, coming out at, noon my time, and then Jerome Powell spoke at 12:30, so 2 and 2:30 if you're on the Eastern Standard Time. That is when I was working. I was going to try to take a lunch break and trade this event, but I had a meeting scheduled right in the middle. So I was in a meeting during all this. I took one trade off my phone. I took some puts up here. The issue I wasn't on my computer, so I was kind of trading off a little bit of a blind chart. I was using TradingView opened in a tab, and I should have paid more attention to the chart that I had drawn in Thinkorswim on my phone, because my levels worked out pretty much perfect. As you can see, this is 12. This is when we first started having data. We bounced perfectly off this level, which was yesterday's low. Came up, retested this area that I was looking at, came back down to this 454 area, rocketed all the way up to test yesterday's high, set a new high by a few cents, and rejected from there, found support at this level, and then broke below, retested, and fell back all the way down to this 454 area where we found support again, and then bounced up from there. So I wish that I would have been able to come back to my computer and trade from here, because just looking at this price action, watching us come up, kind of top out up here, retest, bounce in this area, break below it, and retest again. That's beautiful price action within the zones. So I would like to think that I would have caught, some of this move and made a good profit on the day. I caught a very small piece of it. I did get in on puts. I think at this candle, it's either this one or this one. But I exited pretty quick. My overall profit on the day was $18. It was pretty small. Like I said, I was trading off my phone while I was at work, so definitely wasn't really trying to take any risk or hold a position for very long. It moved in my favor, and I sold pretty fast. I looked at some contracts. I was looking at I think I was looking at 454s or 453s puts, and I believe they went from $15 up here to somewhere around 80 to 70 down here, which is insane. So if you did catch that, triple your money at least. So yeah, crazy day today. I unfortunately didn't really catch or make the most of it, but I did end up the day profitable, which you can blow your account on FOMC days. If you're in puts here and this happens, you can get blown out pretty quick if you don't have a stop, or if your stop doesn't fill. So trading these days, like you see, we have some volatility. It's super important to not full port and try to make 1,000% gains. So I am happy that I didn't really take very many risks. I ended up slightly profitable. But yeah, the potential was there. It respected my zones almost perfectly, which, I'm happy about. It kind of lets me know I'm looking at the right things. Still got a lot to learn. I think this set itself up to be an excellent trade. But yeah, still here. Didn't blow an account. Survived an FOMC. And as always, I trade live every single morning, Monday through Friday. I love interacting with people. Love it when people stop by the stream. So if you feel so inclined, please stop by. I'd love to have you. And with that, I'm out. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.